If you want to add an extra $5,000 to your bank account this year, then you've got to have a sound strategy. But the reality is that 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency expense. But here's the thing, I'm not going to give you a list of 25 money-saving hacks because that's not what you need. What you need is to understand the psychology behind why most people fail at saving and the exact system that turns anyone into an automatic saver. And so after receiving hundreds of your comments, reading countless articles, and studying the data, I found something fascinating about why some people can save money with little effort and why some people struggle. What's up, everybody? I'm Rashida. I'm your guide to smart money moves. I began my wealth building journey at the age of 17, became a millionaire in my 40s, and I did it all on a public servant salary. And it is my mission to show you how you can get there too. And so check this out. A recent study found that people making over $100,000 a year are just as likely to live paycheck to paycheck as someone making $45,000 a year. That's completely wild, ain't it? It's because saving isn't about how much money you make. It's about the system that you use. And so based on all of the comments and the stories that you guys have shared with me, I've noticed something really interesting about the people who successfully save. But before we get into it, take a second, see if you have subscribed to the channel. And if you haven't, please consider doing so. I come here every week to share all of my tips and strategies on helping you to turn your income into real wealth. Now, according to the Federal Reserve, only 1 in 3 Americans are actually on track with their savings goals. But there's a fascinating pattern among those who are crushing it, and it has nothing to do with their salary. But before I show you how to do this, let's break down this big, scary number into something more manageable. Because if you don't have anything in savings, $5,000, $10,000 can seem like a lot. So let's start with $5,000, okay? Because if you can tackle this goal, then you can move on to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. You just keep your system in place and you will get there. And so $5,000 in 1 year breaks down to just $417 a month. That still feels a little bit scary to you. Think about $192 per paycheck. That sounds a lot less scary to me. And then it's only $13.70 per day. And so as we work through this, start to think about where you can pick up and save $13.70 per day. Are you someone that is eating out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on most days, especially work days? Are you going out every weekend? There are ways that you can find this little bit of money every day and it's going to add up. So let's keep going. That $13 is less than what some people are spending at Chipotle every day for lunch. And now I know some of you guys are probably thinking, Rashida, I can barely save $50 a month. But get this, the amount that you save, I'm telling you, it has very little to do with how much you make. I personally know people that are earning 6 figures that can't save a dime, while others making $40,000 a year have already hit their $5,000 goal over the past 6 months. And so let me share something with you guys that changed everything for me. Like a lot of you guys that truly want to save, I used to believe that living inside of a spreadsheet or a budgeting app was the answer. And I tried them all. You name it, I have downloaded it at some point, but none of them worked long term. Every month, my saving habits, they would start strong, but then they just end up disappearing with each passing week. And so the problem wasn't with the apps or the spreadsheets. It really wasn't even my income. The problem was that I was fighting against my own brain. For example, researchers over at Duke University found that over 40% of our daily actions are not decisions at all. Their habits. But here's the really interesting part. When it comes to money habits, our brains are literally working against us. And so that's why it can feel so hard sometimes to save money. And so I came across this really fascinating study by the researchers over at Stanford, and they found that when people think about spending money now, the brain's reward center lights up like crazy. But when they think about saving for their future, almost nothing happens in that reward center. And so this is what they refer to as a present bias, okay? And it's the reason that willpower alone is really not going to work when it comes to saving money. There have been countless studies published that show people who automate their savings are over 3 times more likely to reach their goals compared to those who like to save manually. And so that's not even close. We're talking about a 3x difference here. And so think about this like starting some sort of workout routine, okay? They usually say it takes about 21 days to build that new habit and really get going. But here's the cool part. With automated savings, you don't need to wait 21 days. You set this up on the first day and it's already working for you right away. And so let's take a quick look at what happens when people try to save manually. 73% will fail within the first month of starting their savings plan, and 92% fail within 3 months. And so that means that only 3% of people can stick to a savings plan long term when they are moving the money manually. Now let's take a look at what happens when people automate their savings. 88% stick to their plan, and the average person in this group is going to save over 2.5 times more. And get this, the people in this camp report feeling less stressed about money, not more. And so now let's take a look at what I like to call the money bucket system. And so it's built on 3 psychological principles that make saving money almost effortless. And so to start this system, you're going to need 3 separate bank accounts. And so think of them like buckets. One is going to be for your bills, one is going to be for your daily spending, and then one is going to be for your savings. But here's the key difference from traditional budgeting. We are going to set this system up so that you never have to think about saving again. So first, let's set up your bill bucket. I want you to pull up your bank statements from the last 3 months. Look at every recurring bill. So your rent, your utilities, your phone, your subscriptions, everything. Add them up, and whatever that total is, that's how much you need going into your bills bucket each and every month. And so let's say your monthly bills total $2,000. The day after your paycheck hits, the money automatically moves to your bill buckets. It never touches your daily spending account. You can't accidentally spend this money on Amazon at 2 a.m. It's protected. And so now for the magic, your savings bucket. And so remember that number that we calculated earlier, the $417 per month or the $192 per paycheck, that gets automatically transferred to a high yield savings account the same day as your bills transfer. And so here's a pro tip. Use a separate bank for your savings account. Why? For 2 reasons. First and foremost, most traditional banks offer terrible interest rates. Typically, you're going to find them paying 0.01% APY. That's your annual percentage yield. Whereas a high yield savings account is currently going to pay you around 4%. That is 400 times more interest on your money. And the second reason to keep your savings at a different bank is because it creates what I like to call healthy friction. It's going to take an extra day for your money to transfer. And so that's going to prevent you from doing impulse withdrawals. But here's where a lot of people tend to mess up. They stop right here at this point, okay? They set up the automation, but then they don't address the psychology. And so that's why I created what I like to call the 3 R's of saving success. First is going to be a reward system, okay? Your brain needs little wins to stay motivated. So instead of waiting until you hit $5,000, we're going to celebrate every $500 milestone. And I'm talking actual celebrations, okay? Treat yourself to something small but meaningful. This is going to create a positive association with saving. I want you to set a calendar reminder for 1 day every week so that you can remember to just check in on this account for 5 minutes every week. This is going to allow you to review and track your progress. And this isn't about guilt. This is just about awareness. Doing this allows you to check in and watch your numbers grow week after week after week. It's going to be very rewarding and you're going to feel so good about this. And now for number 2, reality checks. This is where we're going to get super honest about our spending triggers. Everyone has them. I do, you do, your friends do, your parents do. Everybody's going to have triggers around spending. Mine used to be online spending. Like those targeted ads, they used to get me every time. And so I made a simple rule for myself. Anything that costs over $50 is going to go on a 48-hour wait list. And over time, I became amazed at just how many must-have purchases fell off that list after 2 days. And I ended up saving that money. And third on the list is risk management. This is going to be your safety net. Before you even start working towards your $5,000 goal, we need to set aside 1 week's worth of expenses as kind of like a little mini emergency fund. This is going to be crucial because it's going to prevent one unexpected bill from derailing your entire savings plan. Remember that so much of this is psychological. If you are forced to raid your savings account, then you will feel defeated. And you are much more likely to just scrap the whole idea of an automated savings plan forever. And so we're gonna do everything to get set up for success so that we never have to touch that money until we hit our goal. And so now let's pull this all together with real numbers. If you're starting from 0 today, here's what your first 30 days are gonna look like, okay? Week 1, we are going to get organized. Set up your 3 buckets. Remember, bill bucket, automatic transfer for your fixed expenses, savings bucket. Start with just $25 a week. We're going to start you off slow. And then your spending bucket is what you're going to use for everything else, okay? Fixed costs, savings, and then everything else in that order. Week number 2, we're going to go ahead and build that starter emergency fund. We got to do this, remember. In week number 3, we're going to start to increase our savings, okay? Go from $25 to $50. If you're at $50, go to $100. If you're at $100, go to $200. We're going to push on. And week number 4, go ahead and celebrate your first milestone. You may be at only $200 saved. You need to celebrate. 500, celebrate. Come on, we got to keep the win. We got to take the wins, okay? So we can keep going. And so I know what some of you guys may be thinking. You may be thinking, Rashida, what if I have an irregular income? That's no problem. We're going to create an income smoothing system for your bills bucket. What if I have debt to pay off? That's okay. For someone like you, we're going to use a stack method. I'll show you exactly how to do that in just a minute. Or what about unexpected expenses? That's why we started that mini emergency fund. So I got you covered. And so let me address each one of these situations. First, irregular income. If you are a freelancer, a gig worker, a commission salesperson, here's what you're going to do. Calculate your lowest earning month from the past year. That is going to be your baseline, okay? So set up your automation based on that number. Everything above baseline is going to go into your smoothing fund, okay? That fund right there is going to help you cover your lean month when you're not earning as much as you would expect. For debt payoff, which is a lot of people out there, you are going to have to list all your debts from smallest to largest, okay? And when you're building your initial $1,000 safety net, you need to make minimum payments on everything until you hit that $1,000. Once you hit $1,000, you're gonna split all of your extra money, 70% debt, 30% saving. This keeps you moving forward on both goals while maintaining some sort of momentum. And again, those unexpected expenses are a win, not an if. That's why we start the mini emergency fund. And so here's the real secret. Once you have started running your system, you will handle unexpected expenses very differently, all right? Instead of panicking, you will have options now. And so as you begin this new system, you will notice the first few weeks, it's going to be tiny amounts. $20 here, $35 there. But right around week 6, you're going to start picking up steam. You're going to start gaining momentum, and then you're going to be in the hundreds, and hundreds is going to turn into thousands very quickly. And it's at this point where your brain is going to start seeing saving as normal, which is a great thing, okay? Those automatic transfers just become another part of your routine, and that's what we're aiming for. And then after this happens, something really cool is going to start to happen, okay? You are going to start finding extra money to save. Trust me, okay? It's going to become more addictive, more fun. You're going to get more creative about ways you can stuff money into that savings account. All right, now this is the point where most money videos end, but I promised you a complete system. And so now let's talk about ways to level up once you've got the basics running. So level 1 is just going to be your basic automation. That's where everyone starts. Level 2, you're going to have your savings multipliers. We just covered that. Level 3 is going to be income stacking. All right, now this is where the magic happens. Remember that $13.70 target we had? Once your basic system is up and running, Here are a few ways to hit that number without cutting a single expense. Number one is going to be cashback apps for things that you already buy. I love to use platforms like Rakuten that will literally send you a check in the mail from earning cash back just by clicking on a browser extension. It can't get any easier than that, guys. Or if you use credit cards to shop, make sure you have a cashback card and check your card issuer's partner section to see if you can add any of them to your list. That way, when you buy something from one of those merchants, you will get cash back sent to you. This is easy money that people are leaving on the table, and it's money that you could be socking away in your savings account to meet that goal. It's easy. All you have to do is go open a new account with one of these banks. Most of them will offer a sign-up bonus. A lot of them will say you need to do direct deposit in order to benefit from the bonus, but typically there's no minimum, okay? You can put as little as $5 in direct deposit to go to that account and reap those rewards. Number three is one of my personal favorites, and that is to sell things around your house that you don't want or no longer use. You can find so much extra cash laying around your house collecting dust. I'm telling you, I personally like to use Facebook Marketplace because it's free, it's easy, and you can connect with people right in your own community fast. I made over $2,500 last year in just selling things from my house. It's very easy. Take advantage. All right, next on the list is to find easy side hustles that can help you pick up some extra cash. Some of the more popular ones have apps that make it super easy to get started. Okay, Rover, do you like animals, dogs? You can walk dogs and get extra money in your spare time. That's the best thing about the apps. You do it on your own schedule, okay? Instacart, Lyft driving, DoorDash delivery. All of things are options that you can just sign up right now and go get some extra money. All right, this next one is for those of you that are hobbyists, all right, or have little passions that you need to be sharing with the world, okay? Content creation is growing into a massive, massive industry, and you don't need to pass up the opportunity to be a part of it. This industry is growing 30-fold year after year. The pie is huge, so get you a slice of it because you might as well be capitalizing off of something that you are already doing anyway. And number 6 on the list is overtime at your current job. If you are working in a sector that is willing to pay you overtime, or if you have a way to freelance your knowledge into a service, then this is one of the easiest and more lucrative ways to earn extra money because you're already in your wheelhouse, all right? And these typically pay more than the side hustle apps. And so if you're doing a side hustle right now, please let us know in the comments, what is it? I'm curious about all of these, and you can give me and everyone else ideas. Okay, now that we've covered a few ways to earn some extra cash, here is your action plan for the next 24 hours. 1, download your last 3 months of bank statements. And number 2, you're going to set up your 3 buckets. I will leave a link to the bank that I personally use below. 3, you're going to calculate your numbers for each bucket. And number 4, you're going to set up your first automatic transfer. Even if it's just $5, it's okay. Just get started and then make sure you increase this every chance that you get. Remember that saving $5,000, it isn't just about making a huge change or depriving yourself. It's about building a system that works with your psychology and not against it. This is going to be a system that makes saving money as automatic as checking your phone in the morning. And if you want to find out more about the bank that I personally use to grow my savings and how you can earn 400 times the national average, check out my video on SoFi Bank, why it is the best bank, or you can check out the link that I left in the description. They are offering a $325 sign-up bonus. Take advantage, y'all. Now, if you found this video helpful, please make sure you share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel. I make videos here every single week to help you turn your income into real wealth. I want to help you guys reach your goals. Until the next time, I'm Rashida and I'm out.